It's gone on to a second video, sorry. Oh, like I say, once I learn my editing skills, we'll be happy. Right, so I left you, made these. I just went to get my basket of bits and bobs, basically, and the camera decided to actually stop, which is not helpful. But anyway, right, what do I need? I need pages, so I'm just rummaging, bear with me. Okay, one thing I do like to put in my junk journals is a folded envelope. They'll actually come out of a package. Oh lordy, right, come out. Sorry, bear with me. Right, I like these brown A5 envelopes. Mainly because they fit almost perfectly into an A5 junk journal, so that'll be stitched in with the other pages. So let's do a little bit of decoration. So I might, because it'll be sewn here into the spine, I might make this a, say with that line, it kind of drives me nuts actually, so what I might do is actually use that. If I take my glasses off, I'll be able to see actually what I'm doing here. So I'm going to cut along that line and actually turn that into a big, oh sorry, it's upside down for you guys, but anyway, turn that into a big pocket here for this side of the envelope. Get your words out. So that's fine. So let's just decorate the, let's just decorate that. I'll just get a stencil, 2 seconds. Okay, these are, I think they're card or paper or something. I picked them up at the craft show. They were just selling them in like this. And I'm pretty sure they're card. I don't think they're mylar plastic. I don't know, they might be. Anyway, it's quite a nice durable card, paper, whatever it is. So I'm just going to pop that on there, just line up the edges and kind of. And then what colour should we do? I'm just going to go weathered wood, I think. Oh, sponges, not organised, bear with me. Okay. Just the cheapy makeup sponges from the pound shop. You don't need to be spending a fortune, although I guess economy wise it does, well, not economy, but without you having to go and buy time after time after time. Right, so I'm just going to line up that edge there. Just going to very roughly go through the stencil. Sorry, I've got the ink here. I can't move it back anymore. Can you see? Kind of there. Yeah. So I'm just using the weathered wood. Yeah, weathered wood. I'm just going to do a bit of a decorative edge there. And what is it with junk journaling? Why do you end up with a table that you just can't move on? There's something about it. I'm just going to put a bit of the vintage photo on. Not going to bother with the middle because the pocket is going to cover that up. But I will go up where the fold is. Words are obviously failing me today. So I'm mixing the blue and the weathered wood. See, words are failing me. The weathered wood and the vintage photo, just up where the join, where the fold is. Right, let's have a quick peek. Where's my pocket? Oh, I need to come in the middle more. So just do that, bit of that. Let's just do it all over and then we haven't got to worry about whether we've missed bits. Okay, so on the other side, which will be technically on the other side of the signature, I'll just move that. day. Okay, I'm going to use the broken china. She knocks it again. And do the same thing again. I'm going to go right over where the flap is. Let me move that. Where the flap of the envelope is, because I will make the little circle ties that I'll show you. You use like a piece of, what do they used to call them? You use a piece of string to seal them shut, basically. They weren't treasury tags, but that kind of thing. Right. Sorry, I'm making a right pig's ear at this, actually. Let's see what it looks like when it all comes out in the wash. I think that's the beauty with junk journaling. I mean, it really is you just playing, and if you mess it up, you can cover it up with something. I've got a stack of fabric that I can use. There's no shortage in this room. And sometimes it looks worse, and then actually when you reveal it to yourself, you think, oh, actually that's not too bad. And at the end of the day, you're just playing. So see, that's not too bad, is it? Quite happy with that. That would be lovely when it's decorated. It just takes off the plain brown of the envelope. And like I say, when I've on this side, I'm going to pop the pocket on once it's lost me fold. There it is. So the pocket will go on there like that. Actually, I might cut this open, and then we'll have a, let's do it, we'll have a tuck going in there as well. So let me just take off a scant bit off here just to break the fold. Let's pop I'm going to pop it up the top. Okay, so that will go on there like that. So if I was to put a thumb hole here, it might be a bit too close. So I'm going to put it up the top here so we can have a journaling card slipping in there. And then when our tag is here, it won't interfere. It shouldn't cover it. You could probably pop it anywhere. I'm probably just overthinking things here. So let me just pop that in there. Well, I need it on both sides. Let's think. Yeah, I'm going to take out front and back, and so that when we have, just pretend this is a journaling card, so that when a journaling card is in there, you'll be able to easily grab it from both sides and put it out. All right, so that's, see, run out of room already. Okay, you sit there, you guys go away. Okay, so that is that will go in the journal like that, so that's lovely. So we've got the envelope flap here, the natural flap. So what I'm going to do is probably find a piece of paper card, or I might just do two. I need to get rid of this sticky stuff here, so I need to cover the inside of this and the inside of these two. So let's find a bit of paper. I'm covered in ink. Why am I so messy? Okay, so we've got bluebirds, haven't we? So have we got anything nice and a bluish? Searching, rummaging. Where are you, blues? There you are. Okay, are you big enough? Nope. Trying to use up my scraps. I've got a billion tons of scrap paper here, and elsewhere. So well, actually that would, yeah. Sorry, talk amongst yourselves for a second. Do you know, I haven't got a piece of blue paper that's big enough, because I want quite a pale blue, and those are all dark. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to crack in, open a pub. Actually, having said that, I know what I have got. 2 seconds. I picked up from a car boot sale for £2 this massive Reader's Digest. What does it say? Reader's Digest Guide to Creative Gardening. It's so old, it's decrepit. You can see the colour of it. I think the previous owners might have had a log fire because it absolutely reeked. I don't think it was cigarette smoke. I think it was fire. You know, they'd had an open fire in the house, and I think that's what's caused all the yellowing, which for us junk journalers, you know, we don't mind that. So that was that book there, like that. As you see, a whole £2 at the car boot. But I persevered with it, as I say, to get, because it reeked. So I got some of these things that you put in your tumble dryer to make your washing smell good. So I put them in there, and it has actually worked. It's taken away the horrible. It was really strong. It was. I nearly just got rid of the book actually because yeah, you can still smell a little bit of wood smoke there, but it's not cigarette smoke. It is wood smoke. I can tell you that now. So being an ex-smoker, I know the difference. Yeah, it's more or less gone, I'll be honest, and by the time I put inks and stuff on the papers and that, it'll be fine. So that was quite a nice find, because inside it's got lots of pages like this, which I just thought were so lovely. I mean, you can make a seriously nice tag out of those, and I'm not worried about the writing either. So I'm going to roughly, I mean, it's got your how to grow, and I mean, it's a bird, you know, it's birds. So, you know, birds live in gardens, don't they? Yes, they do, Susan. Right. Actually, I'm just going to tear that, because we don't want precision and preciseness in junk journals. Right. What do I need? So I need to cover that. I'll just you seeing, yeah. So where I've cut that hole, I'll just redo that on the right, so excuse me. Sorry, it's the tumble dryer wipes. They do make me sneeze. Sorry. And it's a good thing. It smells nice, but it's one of those scents. I'm a bit funny with some scents, so. Oh dear, excuse me. It's going to make me sniffle now. So I'm just going to tear the top edge. I don't want a straight edge. It's another thing that I love about junk journaling. It can be quite rough, basically. So if I take that, yeah, I'm going to take it right up to that edge, I think, because otherwise it's just going to. So if I knock off that bit before the writing. Honestly, you start out with a nice clean table and then boom, away it goes. So I'm going to have a little bit of a board, a little bit of a gap there. It's not a biggie. I'll just get some vintage photo and rub that around the edges, and that'll get rid of that. But I want to come right up to here, right up to where the fold, the natural fold is of this, because it'll double whammy. It'll cover up the stickiness here. And then I can just cut a piece out of what was left over for the actual flap, just to cover that over. So let's just do a little bit of edging. I don't normally do this, I'll be honest with you, but for the sake of my lovely, lovely people, I'm just going to rub the edges very lightly with a bit of ink. And that'll be that. Let's do that as well. A little bit more vintage photo, I think. Oh, crikey. That was a bit dark, but never mind. It'll be fine. I'll cut a piece for there in a minute. I'm not going to bother to line it. I just think that's just going a little bit OTT. Do the edges on here as well. I'm going to catch those fold lines, bear with me. Let's just do this top bit. Let's fold that over. Oh, those wipes are making me sniffle. I do apologise. Right. That's that, that's that. Let's just tidy that corner up. Okay, don't stick. Thank you. Okay. So that's quite a nice fit. We've got the words in there. You see the vintage photo, or the ink just around the edges there, just gets rid of all that. Let's just tear that a hair's breadth off there. She says, taking a great big chunk. Okay. Yep, that's cool. That'll do nicely. I say I've got a ton of I do love making the ephemera, all the bits and pieces, so I've got a ton of that to do today, so just thought I'd do a quick, just to let you know that I do this as well as the sewing and everything else, although you know there's a lot of sewing in junk journaling as well, so and that is something that I do always like to add, you know, where possible. I mean, sometimes you just can't, you know, you wouldn't be able to get in the middle of an envelope sort of thing, but I mean, you could sew on that and just not have pockets, but I quite like having the pockets. So let's turn you over that way. Is that the way it's? Yes, that's the way it's going to go in. So let's just lay that on there. Not worried if it hangs over a little bit. It's not a biggie. It doesn't matter. Just gives a decorative edge there. It's fine. Let's just get that down. Let's refold that. Sorry. Just recrease in the middle there. What I might do is turn that, if I can, over the other way. Let's see if we can get a little bit of ink on that. Ooh, no. Okay, let's leave that. I might be able to cheat by that way. Can look nice if you just got that little line in the middle there. It's not going to happen. I don't want to ruin it. It might be all right when it's dry. Actually, I might try it again when it's dry. Right, so that's that piece. Let's repunch, because I went through both sides, didn't I? So let's just repunch that one. There we are. Go back round. I shall stick that bit down. I say when this is when the glue stick's dry, I might be able to fold this back the other way and just get that nice highlighted crease on the inside. That'll be fine. So they do not have to be perfect. They are junk journals, so you know, don't get too worried if you've gone a little bit caddywonkus on things. I mean, it's not a biggie. It's, you know, sometimes it just works itself out anyway. So just want to do that flap if I can. I want to be able to tuck it in, so let's get a rough idea of how big we need that. Oh, we get to keep our little flower as well, which is lovely. So let's do a rough trim. Oh, sorry about the sniffing. It's that dryer sheet. I'm going to cut that one slightly shorter, that end, because what I want to do is whip that off. Put a bit of glue in there. And hopefully that will now tuck in. Are you going in? Come on, be nice. Go in. Fair enough. Let's just take a little bit off there. Just needs like a millimetre, that's all it is. There we are, just slide that up there. Push you across very slightly, pull you down there. There we are. And we come unglued, which is not very nice. Okay. It is quite up on there actually, so let's just get in there. You can see it's quite a bit. I don't know if you can see, it's quite a bit. It's quite high there. So let's just carefully, if we can, just chop that back a little bit. And hopefully, give us a nice straight edge as well. Come on. Right. Okay. Oh dear, I have sneezing fits all day now. I shouldn't have opened that book. Okay. A bit more vintage photo. I'm going to stick this a little bit better. I might use a wetter glue actually. Oh, I've got a bit heavy there, never mind. Let's not panic. Smoosh that out a bit. It's a little bit heavy there. Luckily it's yellow on there, so that's okay. We're getting away with it. We're fudging it. It's good. Let's fudge the rest of it. Sometimes that vintage photo comes out really dark brown, then it goes this mustard colour. I don't know if it is because I don't know if it matters. You know, the paper you're putting it on. I don't know if that makes any difference or not, but it's just sort of like a mustardy colour on here now. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, not to worry. Cat's having a mad half hour in here again. Okay, so that's the inside like that. Happy with that. In fact, very happy with that actually. So I'm going to let that dry, and then hopefully I can turn it back on itself and get that edge there. So here, again, I'm going to wait. I'm going to let it dry. But when it is dry, I'm just going to take it back along its crease fold. I'll probably just get it on the scoreboard, fold it back over, and then a circle here. I might not even bother actually. It might be I might just put an eyelet in here. Well, yeah, I think I don't know. Anyway, I might do the old circle thing where you put a brad through and you can wrap it round, but that might be. It might not happen. I don't know. That's what I love about junk journaling. Anyway, that needs to dry because I think I went a bit crazy with the Yoo-hoo glue. But yeah, that's okay. That's cool. And what you do with that is I've got to stick let's stick the pocket on, shall we? That might help. Yeah. And what I do with these is I actually stitch these into, I mean, you can either make it the middle of your signature when you're sewing it into your junk journal, or it can just be one of the pages as you're flicking through. So it's kind of, it's quite interesting as you're flicking through a journal to come along something like that. Because these, although I'm going to put a journal card in here, or stuff, I don't know, they're really useful. For pockets, if you put photos in or little bits of memorabilia. When this is drier, I'm going to go along here and stitch because this corner is refusing to stick, and I will do the same here. And I might through the middle just go kind of like the machine foot width either side of the middle fold there, so that when we do put it into the junk journal, you're not going to be piercing stitching, because if you go straight down the middle you'll be piercing through the stitching. I don't want to do that. So right, okay, so that's that. Let's just stick that back down there. So here's our big pocket. I'm just trying to think if I'm not going to be able to stitch that, am I? Well, I don't know. Oh, it'll show right through, wouldn't it? I should have done that before. Okay, note to self, if you want to stitch it, because even though if I'd have stitched it here, down there, this pocket would have been slightly smaller, but this would be very secure then. And then if I'd have not done the inside, I could have used the inside to have covered up the stitch lines. Never mind. Another time. Right, so need some wet glue. I think this one's nearly empty actually. Oh, come on. Thank you. So I'm just going to glue along here. Could be quite generous. There's a good hint, and I think, who was it? Gosh, somebody, can't remember her name. Anyway, she said, if you put your thumb on the bit where you don't want to stick, i.e., you know, this will be the bit where my tag will slide in once it's stuck on the page. Put your thumb there. I thought, actually, that's really good, because you know, you always move your fingers out of the way when you're gluing. But if you actually say no, where my thumb is, was it Wendy's Journal of Adventures? I think it was. Might have been. I'm going to put a good amount of glue on. I know it's a bit thick, but this is naked cardboard, if you like. The tubes were, you know, they weren't finished or anything, so they might absorb it quite a lot. Now don't go too close to the spine area where, you know, where you're going to stitch through on the spine. You don't want to be going through all those layers. This is completely wonky, but hey ho, that's fine. Just going to hold that down for a minute. I say I wish I'd have thought to have sewn this on before I aligned it, but too late now. I mean, I could do it. I could just have the stitch line showing on the inside. That sort of stuff doesn't bother me. So I do make I make nearly all of this to sell, because my little one, I just make bits as I need it basically. So when I do an en masse making session like this, I tend to, this is kind of what I'm going to pop in the shop, I suppose. But I needed to ink there. Flap you in there. My brain is not working today. That patchwork fried my head. It really did. I just couldn't think what was wrong with it, and then it occurred to me that the original demo that I saw on YouTube, she'd used 16 completely different colours. So of course when you switch that middle panel, you had all very nice, you know, very pretty, but of course I only had two. Not pretty. Cool. Okay, I've got a flat bit on the top here, which I'm not happy about. So let me find. Can put a bit of that up there actually, couldn't I? Yeah. Let's find a decent pair of scissors. There we are. Okay, I'm going to go quite scrappy with this. I'm not going to go neat and tidy. Don't do neat and tidy. You're actually seeing, yes you are. Okay, so I'm just going to sort of chop that off there. Yep, that looks cool. That'll do nicely. This one's almost empty. I need to refill it. I like these little ones. These are cool. I don't find that the ink dries out so quick. The glue dries out so quickly when I'm using these. So I've usually got a little bottle. Where's that gone? Oh, there it is. 2 seconds. I've had to put the blind down in my room because that sun is just in and out, and it drives me. You know, you really can't see a thing in this room because it's a south-facing room. So when the sun's at its full, it kind of blinds you. So, right, bit of lace. Do we want that flower on there? Could do, couldn't we? I'm just going to roughly tear around that. I didn't really plan to film this, I'll be honest, so I'm sorry, this is not terribly organised, but I was just going to get on and make a load, and I thought, well, you know, I know a lot of people are into junk journaling at the moment, so I thought I might just do a little bit. Do I want that there? I don't think I do. There was a bit of the bird fabric laying around, and I don't know what I've done with it. You say I'm not terribly organised, sorry. Just there he is. This has actually got a little. If I could tear along there. Did I get the birdie? Yes. Right. So there was a little bit left of the bird on that piece I got. I've actually got the duvet cover as well, so I've got a ton of this fabric basically, so I don't quite know what I'm going to do with all of it, but never mind. Sure, I'll find something. Right, quite like that. Scrappy, good. Just fluff it up a bit more. I do love it when they're all frayed, and because I mean that is the whole idea with a you know, the whole ethos behind a junk journal is that you're just supposed to use bits and pieces. You're not meant to specifically go out and buy tons of stuff. You know, you can just use what you've got laying around. And I mean, you know, if you're like me and you do a bit of fabrics and you do a bit of card making and, you know, all that stuff, you're going to have this stuff. I mean, you just do not have to really buy anything, I'll be honest with you. Although, you know, a lot of people get caught up with, you know, buying kits and buying this and buying the other, but as I say, I've got so much blinking stuff. I do not need to outsource any of this, although I did buy the duvet cover, but it was £1. A duvet cover and 2 pillowcases, £1. I was not going to pass that up. It was going to end up in landfill if I hadn't rescued it, and I figured that the back of the quilt, the duvet rather, will hopefully, well, it might be too small, but anyway, hopefully it'll be big enough to make the back for my patchwork quilt. So that's kind of my thinking there. So that's not bad. I like that. That's okay. I'm going to add some more. I've got tons of bits and bobs everywhere, so I probably won't do anything on the inside. So I'm going to, hopefully when this is dry, I'm going to try and I might do the stitching either side of the centre fold line. I quite like that when it's done. And then I might, no, I don't really want to put anything in the middle, do I? Because again, you've got to go through that when you do your signatures. I might just put a bit of fabric in there. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Right, so on the back, what else can we do here? Could put one of these pockets on here actually. That's the one that needs sewing because it fell apart on me. A little rack bag. Yeah, let's do that. Let's put a pocket on the back there. Are you going to fit? You have to go that way, aren't you? Right, so just roughly eyeball, as they say. Oh, these cardboard tubes are so thick. I mean, it's good, but also a pain. Right, let's put that there. Where did that flower go? We could have you there, couldn't we? Brightens it up a little bit, doesn't it? It could go that side, actually. Remembering that we're going to stab through this when we put it in the junk journal itself, so that's quite nice. We might have a bit of lace sticking out of the side. Let's just put that on there as well. Just chuck it all on. Again, I'm regretting lining this now because I would like to have stitched all this on. I do like the security of having stitched pockets and stuff like that. So to me, it feels stronger. I'm much happier when I've stitched everything on. But then I'm a sewer. I mean, and it could be as simple as that. I like to sew things, so you know. Oh, there's a bit of ribbon there. That was off the trim. Oh, let's I know what I'm going to do. Let's just whack that off that side. Wipe that off there as well. So they're so thick, these rolls. I don't think I'll get them again. Right, so that there, that there. I wonder if you look better up there, actually. Is that going to be a pain when you're putting stuff in and out? Yeah, it probably is, isn't it? So let's put that back there. Just have that peeking out a little bit there. Here we go, faff mode. What I might do is actually stitch this and this to this and then stick this down onto the envelope, and I might just run a quick stitch line around here as well, and then I don't know, I'll tell you what I have got, which was off of the again off the patchwork I'm doing. It started to fray like Billy-O, but I love these bits. I love stringy bits. They make me very happy. So let me just pull these apart. Oh, here we go. Right, chop. Okay. Might do is just make a very nice tidy nest, as it's a bird journal. Well, turned into a bird journal now. And then, yeah, I haven't got my bits around me. Well, I might stick a button on there actually. Might be quite nice. Yeah, so what I might do is finish this one here for now, stitch that onto the back of there, might stitch that down the side, just stick that on there, and then I might find a really nice I've actually got some buttons with some little birds on actually, so yeah, I'm gonna pause this one for now because it's 36 minutes already, so I will see you in a bit. Thank you.